All right, gentlemen, do I have a story for you? I just got to Tirana, Albania last night, and it was an absolute shit show. Pardon me, Francais. Check this out, though. Nice little vibes and views going on. So, let me tell you a story and more importantly, what you can learn from what happened to me last night. So, I was planning a last-minute trip, is the best way we can put it, to Albania. So, I booked my flight same day. And in general, I broke one of my primary rules, which is not to land in a country after about 10 p.m. And so, there's a number of reasons for that, but just after 10 p.m., everything in general gets a little bit harder. You know, getting money, getting a taxi, blah, blah, blah. And I also did my research into what I needed to know for Albania. So one thing is pre-downloading taxi apps. That way, because Albania doesn't have Uber. So that's good information to know if you plan on going to Albania. You need to have different apps, and that just helps you not get scammed, right? And then I got data as well, because EU SIM card doesn't necessarily work in Albania. So you need to be aware of that. So I was feeling good. Let's flip the camera around real quick. I had done my research and I was ready to rock and roll. So I get on the plane, I land in Albania, and I go through customs or immigration, whatever you want to call it, because it's a non-Schengen country, so you have border control, right? It was pretty straightforward. But, and as you'll see here in a minute, this is essentially when all the problems started. I don't know what that building is, but it looks kind of cool. We don't want to get this guy in the camera, so we're going to go this way. Actually, let's flip this around real quick. I don't know if you can hear that music. Probably not, because I'm using the mic. But just soak in some of the vibes here. We're actually going to keep the camera facing this way for a little bit. So anyway, I go through immigration, customs, whatever, and then more stuff to look at. And then I go through, turn my data on, do all that good stuff, and taxi apps don't work. I downloaded a couple of them actually, just to be safe and see which one had the best prices. Neither of them work. My data doesn't work, so I connect to the internet Wi-Fi, or the airport Wi-Fi. The airport Wi-Fi also, the internet Wi-Fi, or the airport Wi-Fi worked, but the taxi apps still did not work. And then, let's go this way. Let's see what's over here. Seems a little busy. Maybe not for the moment. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out this taxi situation. And part of the reason you want the taxi apps is so that you don't have to take money out or exchange your currency or what may have you, because you can just put your card in the taxi app, and then from there, you would just press a button and you're good to go, right? So that was the first major problem. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't have currency, which I probably should have exchanged currency and brought currency, but I'm only going to be here for a short period of time. So I was like, I'm not going to, need a significant amount of money for what I'm doing. And then from there, what'd I do? So from there, I was like, whatever, I'm just kind of screwed. So I go to the taxi and I'm like, okay, I need to go here, blah, blah, blah. How much is it? And I think he maybe slightly overcharged me, but not like, maybe by like $2 or something like that. Because I was looking at the price before and it was pretty similar. And when I was looking at the price earlier, it was like middle of the day, not 11 p.m. at night or whatever it was by this time. So anyway, I do that. Actually, yeah, we're going to go back this way. So anyway, I go to the taxi guy and he's like, yeah, it's this much, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll do it. But I only have card. And I show him my card. I'm like, I only have card. And he's like, oh, yeah, no problem. Cool. That works. He accepts card. I don't really start thinking much of it. Then we are on our way to my Airbnb. And then this is where the fun really begins. So on our way, I'm kind of talking to him. We're going back and forth. And I start to realize this guy's English is not super great. He's pretty much just saying, yes, yes. Like what he said to me when he was doing the Uber, or when I asked him about the card. He's like, yes, yes. And I was like, oh, okay, I think this guy doesn't really know English. And then I show him the card again, and he's like, yes, yes. I'm like, okay, whatever. And so we arrive at the Airbnb, and he says, payment. And I'm like, yeah, card. He goes, oh, no card. What? What do you mean, no card? I asked you like 3 times by now, you take card. And then he's like, we just go to an ATM. I was like, that's a terrible idea, because I didn't tell my bank I'd be in Albania. Like, they know I'm in foreign countries, but I didn't say Albania. And long story short, Albania, high-risk country, according to the bank at least. And so I'm like, my card's gonna get blocked, but whatever. We'll go to the ATM. Sure enough, we get to the ATM, card is blocked. Now, here's the good thing. I bring multiple cards wherever I go. So I have like 3 cards. 2 of them get blocked. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you, but I can't get the money, because I'm not gonna risk my 3rd card getting blocked, because that would be a complete nightmare. And he's on the phone with his like supervisor guy, and the supervisor guy's like, what's going on? I'm like, I asked him if he took card before we left, and he said yes. And he's like, why didn't you ask me? And I'm like, because this was the guy that was like, oh, let's go. And he was like, but I'm the supervisor. How am I supposed to know that? Kind of thing, right? I'm not a mind reader. So anyway, he's like, okay, give me the phone, or give the phone back to the guy. And so I give the phone back to the guy, and they like start arguing on the phone with each other. I'm like, yeah. And then he gives me the phone back again. Oh, excuse me. And he gives me the phone back again. And he's like, yeah, you're either going to have to come back to the airport and pay, or, yeah, that's like your only option. And he is like, yeah, the guy was like, the Airbnb, or the guy said, he said he could do, the, we need to get out of these people's way. He said he could do the card because he was just going to take you to the ATM. And I'm like, that's not what you accept card means. Like, this is a big, big problem. You don't just say, oh yeah, I accept card, and then your whole plan is to take me to an ATM. Like, I can't go to the ATM, and I knew I couldn't. That's why I said, do you take card? And so he's like, yeah, you have to come back to the airport. And I'm like, dude, I'm not doing that because you guys fucked up. That's like an extra 2 hours, and it's already like midnight by now. So I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not going back to the airport. You guys can figure it out. Some way, somehow. And after, calling my bank and doing all that stuff, because luckily the time difference means the bank's still open, I'm like, whatever. I'll just try my third card, and we'll see what happens. What's the worst that can happen, right? Which probably not a great outlook on some things. So I try that card, and that card lets me take the money out, and I'm finally able to give it to this guy. But that was just such a nightmare for as soon as I landed in Tirana, Albania. Now, obviously, like I said, there are precautions I tried to take, and there are other things that I should have done, obviously. I should have, brought cash with me in the local currency, or at least tried to exchange it for the local currency. If they want to take tourism to the next level here, I think one thing that would really help is, making tap to pay and becoming more cashless, especially like a place that I just came from, Poland. Everything's tap to pay. So if they could just make more things tap to pay, that would make everything just run more smooth, because obviously I'm a pretty easygoing person. So I'm not going to judge the entire country based off that one experience. But imagine you're on vacation or something like that, and you have a limited amount of time, and that's your first experience. That could really give you the wrong perception of a certain place, right? So it won't color my perception of what this place is going to be like, but I thought I should share that with you just because it's going to give you a little bit of insight to things you should prepare for and how you can really prepare yourself for this country and some of the things that you should know in an ideal world. All right, so like I said, I'm not going to let it change my opinion of this country, and moving forward, it's not going to be reflected in my videos because I don't hold things like that, but it's just a piece of advice if they want to make the tourism process a little bit easier. All right, and now I'm not even sure where I'm at, but there looks to be some sort of mosque over there. All right, so I will see you guys in the next video.